Today, we're building a computer, but not just any computer. It's going to be a computer for my cousin Brandon, or Origin. You may have seen him from my streams every now and then in the chat. You may have also seen him from a couple of my videos on my second channel, my gaming channel, which has kind of been out of operation for a while. However, we did used to make videos together, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh.
I took my parents' car out. I mean, they knew about it. I asked. Oh, I'm mad.
What'd you get?
This. Fuck you.
Since then, we haven't talked too much together. We're still really cool. However, we don't game too much anymore. However, he's going to be moving out soon with a couple of his roommates. And the thing about his roommates is that while they're all really good friends, his roommates are PC gamers, and he is not. He is unfortunately a console gamer. So, with the help of his roommates, we are going to be building him a new computer. But not just any computer. It is going to be a budget-oriented computer with very budget parts. But I'm gonna make it look really cool. So the thing about this PC is that it's not gonna be anything spectacular, right? Because Brandon, or Origin, I'm gonna refer to him as Brandon because his name is Brandon, so I'm gonna call him Brandon. He does not do anything very much, like, resource taxing wise. Like, he's not gonna tax the CPU. The only time he's gonna tax the CPU, his GPU is gonna be like from gaming. And even if he's gaming, he's not gonna do very much. He's gonna play Call of Duty, Rainbow Six, Apex, I think he plays. He's not gonna do very much. This esports titles, right? So, to go off with the budget-oriented vibe, we're gonna go with the Ryzen 3 3200G. This is, okay, so the thing about the 3200G, it's not very strong. 4 cores, 4 threads, but it should be enough for him. For the motherboard, we're gonna go with a B450M ASRock board, nothing too crazy. GPU is going to be 570 rather, an RX 570. This is an older card. About, oh gosh, I think it's like almost 2 or 3 years old at this point. It might even be more, I don't remember, but good enough for him. All of you guys know who are budget builders and deal seekers, you know that this card is an awesome card. For the power supply, we have a 500 watt, 80 plus. That's it, there's 80 plus. There's no modular cables. There's no bronze or gold or any of those rating. It's just 80 plus, so at least it has an 80 plus rating, right? And it's gonna have red and yellow cables. We'll see how we go manage that later though. What else is important? We have the RAM, 16 gigabytes, I think 3200 speed? Yeah, 3200 speed, good enough for him. We have a 240 gig SSD for boot, 2 terabytes hard drive space, and that's basically going to sum it up for the parts of his build, I think. Oh yes, and the case. The case is a banging Chinese brand case that some of you guys might actually know about. It's a dark flash, what is this? DLM21. This is the mesh version, and as you can tell, this is gonna be a micro ATX build. Something that's very small in form factor because I don't know if his space is going to be able to warrant a big PC or at least a normal sized desktop or anything like that. So I'm gonna play it safe, and since this is gonna be budget oriented, I think it'll be okay. Okay, so that's gonna be it for basically the parts. However, if I put this together right now, it's gonna be super boring. It has red and yellow cables. It's a very ugly motherboard. I don't know. It's ugly and subjective, but here, you can look at a picture of it. It's black, it's got just gray, weird accents everywhere. It's not the most attractive thing in the world, but I mean, hey, and you know, the stealth cooler that comes with it is what it is, not that bad, but no RGB on the RAM, although this is a nice kit. It's just a very boring build. So, we enter in a couple things that'll make this a lot better. I'm gonna install a CPU cooler, a tower from ID Cooling, I believe. I've heard about this before, so I'm excited to try it out. These, what is this called? Corona RGB fans from PC Cooler. I've heard about these fans as well, so I'm really excited to try them out. They're Chinese RGB fans, so you know, they're gonna be what they're gonna be. Also got some extension cables. This is gonna be a black and white and, black, gray, and red. The theme of this build is going to be black and red, so we will see how that plays out. And I also bought an LED strip. Don't know if I'm going to use it, but I bought it just for reassurance. The motherboard should be able to house everything that these connectors will need. Oh, also there's a, I bought a Wi-Fi card because he's gonna be running Wi-Fi, unfortunately. So, you know. Okay, I think that's gonna be it. I guess without further ado, let's start building. So, first thing that we're gonna do is the motherboard. There's a disc. So what I love about this motherboard is that, like, everybody who knows, who's into like budget building, this motherboard is just awesome. Like, for whatever reason, like out of all the boards possible, this is just like the perfect budget board for everything. There are some drawbacks that you're gonna have, obviously, but you have 4 DIMM slots, even on a micro ATX board. Usually these will have only 2, so you can't expand even if you wanted to. Not that he's gonna ever go to 32 gigs, but it's nice to have. It's also Ryzen 3000 compatible. So technically, if you don't have to do any BIOS flashes, and that's good because there's no BIOS flash button on this thing, so you know, this works out. Speaking of, so the fun thing about the Ryzen 3200 as well as the 3400, so this is a 4-core, 4-thread CPU, and if I would... Okay. If I were to rebuild this build, I wouldn't use this piece, or I wouldn't use this chip. I would use the 3400G, and I would not go with the graphics card. Where did I put that? I would not go with the graphics card. He would just use the integrated graphics because the 3400G is actually not that bad. Even the 3200G, I could probably run Call of Duty Modern Warfare on this chip alone. And that speaks for a lot of things, but I want him to have the flexibility to be able to play almost anything that he wants to at subpar settings, because I mean, you'd probably have to crank down, no, you will have to crank down all the settings to low. So I wouldn't do that. Well, I mean, he wouldn't mind, but I wouldn't do that to him. But if I were to rebuild this build for budget reasons, I would not stick with that GPU. I would upgrade the 3200 to a 3400, and then I would go to probably not get a tower cooler and then just use a stock cooler. But I'm using a tower cooler just to make it look cooler, and also for flexibility, because he technically can drop a much better chip in here. He can drop a 3600 in here, maybe a 3700 if he wants to. Not that he's going to do it, but you know, it's possible. So this RAM kit, if you can get, not this model, but this is the, what is this, the Dark Z models, which I think are kind of newish. The heat spreaders on this look actually super cool. They look very similar to the Vulcans, except this one just actually, I don't know, objectively just looks a little cooler. So we're gonna stick with those. No RGB, but it's still, thanks to that, it's still very low in cost. You can get like, not the Dark Z version, but you can get the Vulcan versions, which, believe it or not, will not affect performance. You can get those versions for like almost $50 to $60 for 16 gigs. That's crazy. I think we're gonna do the outer 2. Yeah, the outer 2 probably. I don't know. You should check your motherboard manual, but I don't freaking know. I don't care. I guess we should do this. I've actually never installed a tower cooler before, so I'm interested to see how this goes.
Arthur, I don't like the sound of that.
Man, I don't like the, man, I don't appreciate this disrespect. I got this, bro. Check this out. Oh, by the way, I have Zach recording again. I had him recording for the last PC build, and I mentioned a couple times in my video, I have him recording again, just to help me out, and for a little bit of side banter, so hopefully y'all are cool with that. I don't know. He's just here. I'm not paying him or nothing, so you know, he has to deal with it. Warning! Remove before installation. Don't forget to do that. Was there mounting brackets? I guess I should have read the, I don't even know where, did I have the, where did I throw the manual? Did I even keep the manual? What did I even do? Why am I doing it? Why am I here? There's nothing in here, Zach. Let's see if I can figure it out first. So if I go to this, let's see if I can recognize the AM4 mounting brackets just from learning and memorization, because I've never done a tower cooler before, but I can probably guess which ones are AMD and which one are Intel. And it's usually these curved ones right here are going to be the AMD brackets. So I think these are oh, I think I get it. I think I get it. I think I get it. And if not, it's gonna be really funny. But I think I get it. So these are going to line up with the backplate mounts right here, because then these little spring action screws are gonna go to here, I believe, which are, which I don't know where. Oh, I see. Wait, no, I don't see. Wait, where did this even go to? Oh, hey, I didn't even know this. It comes with thermal paste. That's cute.
Oh.
It's probably not good. I wouldn't use it, but high extreme thermal conductivity thermal grease. In case you were wondering. Oh, these look like standoff screws. Oh man. First order of business is to see if it's gonna go this way. Nope, it's gonna be this way. And if I'm correct, yes, these do screw in. I was correct, yes. See, no manuals are needed. Oh, you know what? This might actually be a problem. So if you come over here, the, what are these? Oh God, I forgot what they were called. The chokes. Yes, the chokes right now are kind of conflicting with this bar. So I don't know, one, if I can get this to fit, and two, if the contact between the chokes and this metal piece is gonna be a good idea. All right, so they are in? I can't wait for this to just like explode as soon as I turn it on. And if it does, We'll have that on camera.
I just imagine the clickbait that you could use for that video.
Anuki installs the CPU cooler and fucking dies. As you can see, I did remove those standoffy screws. I did my due diligence and did a sanity check on the manual, even though I was so against it. But I did it, and I'm glad I did because those were the incorrect screws. And honestly, I would have found that out after screwing it in. I'd be like, oh, this is wrong. But like, this does, like, you know, add to the whole, just check the manual. The manual tells you everything. Even if it's a Chinese manual, it's a manual. These are gonna be standoffs, and I knew these were standoffs. I just didn't know at which point to use them. And then these screws, which I knew were right, but decided to go with the other screws because they threaded, are going to go through the standoffs and into the backplate screws. And that will give it enough height to clamp this onto that guy through the back, through these plates, of course. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quick. And look at that. And now I clear the choke. See, everything works out. I'm very nuts. A lot of people who follow me on Twitter know that I'm kind of that PC guy, and I've helped a lot of people with computers in the Call of Duty community, which is awesome. And I'm glad I can be that type of person for them. And hopefully I'm a friendly person that is able to, and so far I've been able to help every single person with troubleshooting. And if not, direct them to a place where they can figure it out, or to someone else that knows more. So in that regard, I'm very happy with my performance and my capabilities in computer knowledge. So essentially, if I was still in high school, I'd be bullied. Now, if I go ahead and place this down, you can see this threads will match, and it is perfectly in with the thing. So that's gonna work right. So now I can go ahead and install that boy. Next, we're gonna put in the fan. You gotta keep in mind, this a whole CPU tower with the fan included was like 25 bucks. And it doesn't look that bad. 20 bucks for a tower cooler, which will be better than a stealth cooler or any sort of AMD stock cooler. That's pretty good. Which way do I want to do it? I think I'm gonna do it this way. In the case, I'm gonna have an exhaust fan right here. So basically the airflow is gonna go like this. The airflow of the case is going to be from here and then just this way. The airflow is gonna go straight like that. So we'll aid it as much as possible, and we'll go with that. These little parts are going to go inside the little holes for the screws, except this time I'm just gonna clip. And then it's going to find it, this clip is going to find its way into the grooves of the heat fin stack. Get it nice and firm. It's not going anywhere. Haha! Not bad, not bad. I am kind of curious. I'm gonna use this thermal paste. Let's go for it. Oh, it's already coming out a little bit. Oh man, got a little pre-cum on the tip, eh? Yes. What shape should I do, Zach? Should I do a? Yeah, let's do a little shaft and balls action. Yep. There we go. Not the prettiest. You can kind of get, there's the balls in the shaft. Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. It's just a smiley face. Don't worry, guys. See? There we go. I don't know. Just looking at it straight on is not very high quality, so I might replace it on my own. But I'm just curious to see how well it does. So let's go ahead and insert it. You in there. All right. And then I can just start threading these slowly. Oh, God, that was a bad sound. It's okay, probably okay. There we go. And then this cable, this little mini cable, can safely hook itself into the CPU fan header. All right, and now I can just hold it like this. And it's nice and safe. And it's not going anywhere. Look at that, yes.
That is so terrifying.
Well, that's basically it for the PC, to be honest, as far as I can do on it on the surface. So I think let's just stick it into the case. This case, it doesn't come with any fans, so that's the worst part. Had it come with fans, this probably would have been the greatest budget PC case, but now it's like the same price as like an NZXT case. So it is what it is. So what's cool about this case, if I can get it out, is a nice, cool micro ATX case, made with very thin metal. And plastic. The last panel that actually comes off toolless. It's just this magnet piece that comes off with this little handle thing. So basically, don't get the handle stuck on the backside because you're gonna have a bad time. And it actually also has a mesh. It's not the best mesh, but it's better than the default version because the default version is just flat. So there's no airflow coming from the top, which means the only airflow you're getting is from the side. And this is all you get. However, this doesn't just go straight into the case. This has to make a pass through another point from the back. It has to make it from these holes to here, and then through this grill right here. You can kind of see it barely. It doesn't even go all the way to the bottom. These tiny grills, it has to make it through there. So that's all you get for airflow if you go for the standard version. So I opted for the mesh version for obvious reasons. I'm gonna leave this out because we're gonna be building it now. It has a top part that, oh, what is that? Oh, manual. Also the front comes off, which I'm not sure if it comes off in the standard version with just the flat. The reason why I add this is because in every review that I've seen on this case, nobody pulled the front off and nobody mentions pulling the front off. So I was like, I want to know if you can pull the front off. You can pull the front off. At least for the mesh version, at the very least. Okay, first let's reality check to make sure that the cables are correct. Or not the cables, the standoff. So it's gonna be, there's one right? There's that one. Yeah, this is actually correct. This is the correct amount. It is missing 2 more. One in the corner right here. You can decide if you want to do that if you want. I guess because it's not my build, I will do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert the standoffs, but you probably don't need to. I almost freaked out for a second. Oh, it comes with some zip ties. That's cute. Is microfiber cloth. Oh, that's even cuter. Actually, almost probably. Oh, you can take it off. Let's go. Okay, never mind. I actually didn't know that. All right. Yep, okay, I fucking kill myself. One thing to not forget is the IO shield, because it didn't come pre-installed, or not pre-installed, but rather it wasn't part of the thingamajig, so you gotta thingamabop the thingamajig and the thingamaboober. Make sure it's correct, because that was not correct. Yep, that's in. Motherboarder. I've been joking around and kind of just going haywire most of the time, but this is one of the things that you do want to be fragile about, because you don't want the standoffs to rub against any of the circuitry that's in the back here. Although I've definitely rubbed my greasy fingers all over it, so I don't know. Camera change, don't worry about that. So I got the motherboard into the case. Next, I'm actually gonna go ahead and, go ahead and do the power supply. That's right, power supply is probably important. It is literally the important part of the entire computer. This guy, like I said, EVGA white. This is a trusty dusty, as everybody likes to call it. I'm not bronze certified or anything, but it's just a power supply that works. I mean, nobody's ever had any problems with it. It's not the quietest in the world, but it's a power supply. It's cheap. I got this for like 500 watts for like 50 bucks or something like that. And that's pretty good considering all the power supplies nowadays are super duper expensive. So unfortunately these colored cables, but we'll deal with that as we go. All these wires, half of which we will not use. Actually, we might use a fair amount of them considering we have a couple of peripherals that will deal with it. Cool. Oh god. All right, so that should be good. And go ahead and while I'm here, yeah, let's go ahead and put the correct cables we're going to need. We're going to need a couple SATA cables. Get the EPS, I believe this is EPS. No, this is PCI, we are gonna need it though. This should be EPS, yep, EPS. 24 pin, so we'll stick that in here. Oh yeah, front panel stuff. Since he is most likely gonna be using front panel stuff, we're gonna actually plug them in. The USB, yep, USB, more USB. Wait, hold on, wait a minute. USB and HD, oh! The two USB 2.0s are in one connector, which it should be, and the HD audio is actually in this connector, but it's with black cables. I've never seen this before. Even the motherboard, or even the Lian Li case that I have, the HD cables, I think, were colored, which is why I opted not to plug it in. I'm not using the front audio anyways, but these are black. Awesome. All right, so I went ahead and spared y'all the time of watching me try to unplug or plug these front panel connectors. You guys know how that goes. If not, watch the tutorial. This is not a tutorial video. So that should be all good. Now I'm going to install a hard drive now. Okay, this slides in through here, and then the holes should line up with the threads of the hard drive. Well, not me, the hard drive. No, the hard drive. Zach, the hard drive. Zach. So I have the hard drive installed, and I do want to mention one thing before I continue working on things off camera. The screws that I use, the hard drive screws, one thing to note about this case is that it only comes with enough screws for the hard drive, for one hard drive. And this is kind of something that's like, okay, I guess. You only have enough for one hard drive, and that's confusing because you have the ability to mount 2 hard drives in. So these are the screws that are in the hard drive. They aren't anything like, there's no like washer doodads, it's just a straight rounded screw, and those go into the hard drive, and that will thread cleanly into these parts. But this screw, they're not the same. They're threaded differently. This one is more finely threaded than this one. You could screw this into the hard drive holes, but it's not ideal and I would not recommend it. But I did test and you can actually screw it into a 2.5-inch drive and it does fit. So that's something that you gotta decide for yourself if that's what you wanna do. But at the thing about SSDs, you can stick double-sided tape and just smack it on your case and it'll be fine. So things to think about, but that is something I want to know. You only have enough screws to mount one single 3.5-inch drive. Okay, and then that's going to be it. I got the hard drive and I got the SSD installed. 240 gig SSD for boot, 2 TB hard drive for games. That should be enough for Brandon as far as I'm concerned, unless he does anything else I'm not aware of, which I don't want to know if that's the case. All that's left now is the graphics card, and then we'll start having some fun with some colors. Since I'll be installing a GPU as well as a Wi-Fi card, which I really hope will clear this part. The Wi-Fi is going to go into here in this, what is it, a 4X slot I think it is, and then the 16X slot for the GPU. So I'm going to be taking this top part and these 2 middle ones. So it'll be these 3 that I will be yanking out. Well, it's so close. It's so close. Oh, don't mind me just scratching the PCB of the motherboard. Dude, it's so close. Ah, got it. Ugh. All right, and those 3 are off. All right, so this is the graphics card, the piece of resistance. What is this strap? Yeah, don't need that. So I bought this bad boy off of eBay. This is the 570. This, like I've mentioned, is like, if anybody knows budget building, this is like the card to use. The 570 or the 580. This is the 8GB version rather than the 4GB version I grabbed for like 140-ish, 150, I believe. It even's got a peel. Whoa, do we have a peel? We have a peel. Oh man. Man. But this is an eBay card. It is new, technically. This, I believe this is brand new. If not certified, I kind of forgot, honestly. But this will tackle 1080p, 60 FPS very solidly. And it will be literally probably all it ever needs. The only thing I would be worried about is fan noise, but I mean, it should be okay. I assume that it'll be all right, so how bad can it be, right? Remove this protector thing. Right in. There we go. That's gonna sag like a mofo. No, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. What the frick? Okay, come on, look at it. Come here. This is like blocking my way to the screw holes. What the frick? How do I take this? Can I take this off? I probably can. Come on. There we go. Just a good safety one. That'll do it.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do. There we go. Hold some cables back. And so this is kind of how it's gonna look if I don't add anything too much. Obviously there's no fans, so I guess I'll put this back in real quick. So honestly, for most people, they'd probably be fine with this because they don't really care too much about aesthetics considering what they bought for this, like a 3200G, a very cheap tower cooler, 570 graphics card. You know, it's not really on the top priority for them to worry about custom cables and stuff, but I care about aesthetics, so we're gonna mess with it. Go ahead and remove you. Nice and safely remove this card. Bro, what the? There we go. Safely. Yeah.
Safely.
So the cables that I have are actually really pretty. These are black, red, and gray. These are gonna fit really nicely with the case, or with the PC, because like I said, it's a kind of a red and black theme. There's not too much red right now, but this will do it. If you've never really used extension cables kind of like this, so you find, I believe it's this one, you're going to plug in your original power supply cables to the end of this part, the female side, and then you're able to plug the male side into the actual motherboard. So instead of this, it's gonna look like this. Much better. These are so nice. Like at this point, these extension cables are so cheap. Like I got these for literally $20, right? And they're so cheap that you might as well just get them anyways, because obviously these are red and yellow cables from the power supply, and that was a choice, and you can get them in black, right? And those look fine. Obviously these look fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but these are so cheap that you might as well just get them. Like you can get them in all black, all white, all colors. You can just go on Amazon and find multiple different things. You can find colorways like this. Like there's a lot of fun things you can do with these cables, and I feel like at this point in this day and age, you should just get one of these custom cables because they're so cheap. It just brings so much life to a build, even a budget build, all the way to an expensive build. Like you see cable mod stuff, and it's like, those are cool, and if you have the budget for it, you should definitely do them. But they're also really expensive. So like if you can't afford the cable mods, and also if it's the cable mods aren't in your budget, these are a very good alternative, and they look very nice, as you can see so far. And they really, it's the little things that bring a PC build to life. Like, I'm me making this budget PC, I wanted it to be something that wasn't just a budget PC. I wanted it to be something that's not a showcase, but something that you can be proud of. So this is definitely a way that you can accomplish that with not spending too much. Like I said, $20 for this. For the fans that I'm about to install, I think it was like $30-ish, $40-ish for 3 fans. I have RGB strip I'm not going to use yet, but that was like $10. You know, there's a lot of things you can do aesthetically for the cheap, and that's the really fun part about budget PC building nowadays. So a lot of options, a lot more than they used to be. So I recommend it. Now next up we're going to do the fans, and I might have to actually install the entire graphics card to do so in order to reach some of the headers, but I mean, we'll see how that goes. I'm excited to see how these fans work because I've heard a lot about them and I've never used them before, but I just heard they're just so super great bang for your buck type of RGB fan. Chinese fans, of course. I haven't opened this up yet. Well, I did open it up just to make sure everything was like not broken or anything, but I don't necessarily exactly know how these work exactly. I know it's going to plug into some sort of, yeah, here we go, some sort of RGB, what would you call it, controller type of deal, which has a couple buttons that you will control the lighting on, although I believe this does have actually no, I don't think this has software support, so you would have to control it with this, which is going to be unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. But they look like this, and these look awesome, right? It looks nice. Put it on the case right here. It has a ring style RGB effect to it, so better than nothing. And you needed case fans for this case anyways, because like I said, it doesn't come with fans. So if I had to pick some, like any sort of fans, I could pick a standard quality fan with no RGB, or a Chinese version with RGB. So, hey, pick your poison. So since these are 3 fans, I'm gonna have 1 on the back, blowing exhaust, and 2 is an intake. So it'll be right here. This is Molex powered, unfortunately, so that means I couldn't tie up the Molex connector from the power supply, had to dig it back up, but this will plug in via Molex, like so. There we go. From the top, fan to RGB controller to Molex. Pretty simple. Honestly, this is kind of how RGB usually works, and I had a headache doing the Corsair version because the Corsair version is a headache. I'm glad to see that this one's a little more self-intuitive, so hopefully I'm able to figure this out. So now all we have left to do is a couple fun things. I'm going to test out this RGB strip, which connects to the 12 volt on my motherboard, and it's magnetic, so we'll go ahead and stick this in. Wasn't sure if I was going to use it or not, but I mean, hey, why not? So they say this is magnetic. And it is! Now all that's left is the Wi-Fi card. This is from Ubit, I guess. I don't know who they are. There was a TP-Link version, which I actually know of TP-Link, the brand. I actually use a couple of their products. And then there's this thing called Ubit. Don't know if anybody knows them, but it was a cheaper version of a Wi-Fi 6 card, actually. They don't have Wi-Fi 6, but it's AX200, so I'm gonna trust them. I'm actually plugging this in before the graphics card. There you go. Plugging in before the graphics card so that it's a little easier to do. Oh, it comes with a little baby screwdriver. Oh, bro, that's so cute. I'm gonna use a tiny screwdriver for the rest of the build. Go! I can't even thread it. It's so... Okay, it doesn't work. And then it actually comes with antennas out the back, which should flip up like this. It'll kind of be like that. So I can plug these into the coaxial areas, which I assume are universal. If there's a right and left, I don't know about it. That is one of the downsides of this board. Does not come with Wi-Fi on board. Although, I mean, if you're doing Wi-Fi, or if you're doing Ethernet, which most people should be doing anyways, like, it should be okay. And then there's this little bit that's going to be plugging in from the card itself into an available USB header. In retrospect, I probably should have plugged this in first before I screwed it in, but it's all good. It'll plug into this little bit right here. There we go, nice and plugged in. There's just no snap, so I guess that's something to think about. And then this, I'm gonna have to route around somehow into a USB header, which will be down here. Hopefully not being obstructed by the graphics card. If not, I'll find a way. If anything, this will actually be blocked by the graphics card, so, you know, easy cable management. I'm pretty sure that's all I need to do for the Wi-Fi. And it's good to go. Haha! I can bring in the cable combs like that, make it look all nice and pretty, and fix a couple of the LED strips. And that is a computer, my friends. Shall we turn it on?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, this is the moment of truth. Power supply on, monitor on. Oh, did you see the light on the mouse? Oh, that's a good sign, boys. That's a good sign. Moment of truth. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, come on,
That's
baby.
already a good sign.
Come on, post. Oh, dude, that looks so sweet.
Keyboard's going. Do we have an image though?
Come on.
Do we get a splash? Do we get it?
Oh,
That's a good sign, boys.
Yes.
That's a good sign. Looks like we're going into Windows. Oh, we're just going straight into Windows. No BIOS, I guess. Let's go. This fan is, oh, they're not spinning. I never plugged it into a fan header. That's why it's super quiet. All right, well, I will do that, I guess, later. But that is a computer, ladies and gentlemen. Everything looks solid, I think. Let's go ahead and make sure. Open the task manager and go to performance. That's a Ryzen 3 3200 with the Radeon RX 570. Everything looks pretty hunky-dory to me, my friends. Ha-ha! I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the fans, and then let's see how well this thing does. Let's see. Fans are spinning. This is exhausting. This is intaking. This is pushing a lot of air, actually. A lot more than I thought it'd be pushing. It does have a mesh front, which is better than this, like the original version, like I said, it was just sealed off flat, and you can only get intake from here. So I'm glad I went with this mesh version, and I was afraid it wasn't gonna work very well, but air is coming through, so that's good. So now there's gonna be a direct air path from here to here, straight to there. So the airflow is just gonna go like this, from the two fans, CPU cooler, and then out the exhaust. So
Dude,
one fan,
but it looks so sick from the front.
Yes, sir. Now it would have looked better if there was one more down here, but minor details. It's okay.
Wait, what would happen if we just pushed a button?
What? Oh yeah, that's right. So this is gonna be the RGB controller. Let's go ahead and see the different modes. There we go. There's blue.
Ooh.
There's pulsing. There's a little soft 1x1. Little spinny boys. More spinny boys. More spinny boys. More spinny boys. Oh, stopping spinny boy. More spinny boy. And then just default. That's fun. So if I do this, there you go, and then I can change the lights of them. There you go. This is gonna be a black and red build. This is gonna be red. Look at that. Doesn't it look nice? There's this blue light here from the graphics card, which is unfortunate, but be what it be. It's not that bad. I'll get the RGB strip going if I can, but that right there is a computer. So let's go ahead and get things ready. I'm so happy with this build so far. It was an adventure. But can you believe this system was probably like, this would be about a $500 to $600 build. Obviously with the inclusion of the fans, RGB stripped, and the tower cooler, it added a little more to the cost, so this brings it to about almost $700, I believe, which some people would kind of scoff at, like, oh god, a $700 build with only a Ryzen 3 3200G and an RX 570? Let me explain to you. The reason why I decided to do $700 for just a Ryzen 3 and a 570 is simply because of his needs. Like I mentioned, he's not gonna do a whole lot, and this is probably all he's ever gonna need. He's gonna need a quad core, and then a 570, which will be perfect for 1080p 60 gaming that's all he'll ever need. And it could probably even, like, after messing with the settings, it'll hit to like probably 144 Hz 1080p if he can. He will be getting a 144 Hz monitor as courtesy of his roommates. So I'm excited to see if this graphics card can punch it. Going, oh look at that, 120 FPS. The settings, oh, a little bit of frame droppage there. Hovering above the 90-ish, 100-ish percentage on the GPU, which is kind of but it is what it is. This is playable. Like, I can sit here and play this. The only thing that's holding me back at this point is the monitor. Like, because this is a cheapo monitor, but let me check the settings really quick. I did have it set to auto, so let's see what it let me use. So we're at 1920 by 1080, 100% resolution settings. Most things set to high, normal, extra, enabled, hot. This is great. Ambient occlusion doesn't say. I bet I can enable ambient occlusion just a little bit. Man, let's put a dynamic. Fuck it, dynamic ambient occlusion. Screen space, but sure, why not? Put it on low, just add a little bit. I'm still at 100 frames. This is a playable experience. You can play on this, and this is awesome. And literally, the system itself only costs like I said, about $600. Obviously, with some adjustments, you can get it even cheaper. But with the cables, with everything, obviously it's gonna bring up the price, but this is what I wanted to hit. This is a playable experience. The system works, system is running, temperatures are fine, and most importantly, gameplay is fine. So I'm really excited, and hopefully that I can finally get Brandon onto the PC side of things. Hey, get rid of the console. I mean, he's still gonna buy the PS5, whatever, I get it, PS5 is cool now. But hopefully we can start playing some games together, having fun, and, you know, just like old times. Play some COD together, you know? That'd be fun. Now all that's left to do is the final part that I mentioned in the beginning, a little extra custom part that I'm waiting on, and you'll see what that is shortly. Okay, I got the, oh god, it's dark. Do I have you turn the lights? Man, that doesn't help. All right, about to head out. I got the computer on me with me, and I'm about to head over to, oh God, I got 36 miles to drive to reach his place, so hopefully it's not too bad, but I don't know if you can tell with this camera, honestly, but it is foggy as hell. For those who don't really know, there's kind of some fires that are happening right now at California, Oregon, and some of it is reaching to Washington right now, which is where I live, and I need to go to Oregon right now, and it is not pretty. It's gonna be very foggy on my way there, it's gonna be very foggy on my way back, so wish me luck. I talked with Brandon's roommates, they're out right now, and they took Brandon with them, so I should be able to swing by without him noticing. Oh, also, I don't have any way to prop the camera while I'm driving, so no driving time lapse. I know, bad vlogger, I know. All right, boys, I'll see you there.
So before I get to Brandon's house, I wanted to let y'all know about a couple changes I made to the PC after the shoot. First, I swapped the ASRock motherboard for a MSI B450M Gaming Plus, both micro ATX. I forgot I had this for a different build, so I figured I'd use it. It's black and it has red accents, so it kind of works out. At the time I bought it, it was the same price as the ASRock board, but it's kind of a dumbed down version because there's only 2 RAM slots, for example, which I don't recommend, but for Brandon this should be okay, especially since he already has 16 GB of RAM. Speaking of RAM, I swapped out the previous Team Dark ZA sticks for a G-Skill Aegis kit I also already had lying around. This kit is 16 GB as well, but at 3000 MHz instead of 32 MHz on the Dark ZA models. But a simple overclock bumps it to 3200 MHz free of charge. The final piece of the puzzle was a custom No Game No Life decal. So the reason why this is No Game No Life, and as you'll see in a bit, the wallpaper I picked for him is also No Game No Life, is because this is the show I actually got Brandon into anime with. Well, technically it was Bunnigo Senpai, but I know for a fact that he fucks with this show heavy. Like, we watched it together and we also watched the movie together. We love No Game No Life, so this was a no-brainer for me. And it sticks with a theme, me being all anime-ish, it kind of adds a little personal aspect to the PC build that makes it a gift from me to him, if you will. But things weren't exactly gumdrops and lollipops, as life is, and it was a headache to get this through. The company I found was StickerGenius, and this may have been a special case. Maybe mine was different because I see a lot of people use this company that I found, and they were happy with it, so I don't know, your mileage may vary. But I spent a good week and a half with their customer service, sending back and forth emails, trying to get this goddamn design to follow their requirements that I've read and followed already, but it is what it is. In the end, I got it through, and it looks good, so hey, it is what it is. Lastly, I was not very happy with the GPU temps hovering over ADC while gaming, so I tried my hand at undervolting. By following Optimum Tech's undervolting guide, I was able to drop the card's final target voltage by a small 150 millivolts, but this made the difference. While playing a game like Modern Warfare at 1080p high, before the RX 570 would hover around 82 to 83 degrees Celsius, and with the undervolt it dropped to a safe 72 degrees Celsius. A 10 degrees Celsius decrease, and if you look at the FPS counter, you'll see we achieved 0 loss in performance. That is awesome. So thanks to the aforementioned StickerGenius incident, the date we wanted to get this project done was pushed by 2 weeks, and frankly we just wanted to get this over and done with, so we kind of rushed it towards the end, and I wasn't able to do anything like get sexy B-roll of the PC or anything fun like that, so I apologize, but if you stayed for this long in the video, I hope the only people watching are true supporters, so thank you for sticking through for the whole length of the video, and I hope you'll forgive me.
Alright. We made it. Lights. Oh, over here? Lights. No, door, light. What the? Where are the lights? No? Oh, fireplace. Bro, I'm gonna break their house before you even start. Didn't even do anything. Oh, there's the kitchen lights. Okay. Bam! Kitchen. Well, that was the dining room lights. This is kitchen lights. This is a pretty nice place. It's very echoey, but you know, it's all good. They got nothing here. Man, who left their food? Okay, now that we're here, I'm gonna find his room and get it started. I do have one problem though. I forgot to bring the power supply cable. So I can't turn on the computer, however, I should still be able to, I think, fish probably a computer cable from maybe his roommates, and hopefully that'll work, assuming they brought their computers. And that should be enough for the presentation, so let's get it going. Okay, upstairs. Ooh, I don't know why I'm saying nice, there's nothing in here. Where is his room? Is it in here? Hello? What the? Man, he left his computer on, bro. That should be his roommate's room. Maybe this room. Oh, I think this is it. Yes, this is it because of all of his shoes. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and set everything up. I have a computer as well as a monitor that they bought him to set up, so hopefully I can get those ready in time, and hopefully he doesn't come back. Oh shit, they're here. What the fuck? They didn't warn me. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh bro, this is gonna be the most stuffed thing ever. Fuck.
And even if you get banned, then oh no, I got banned from a gym I never paid for. Howdy.
Oh. What?
What up, B?
Oh.
Bro, I'm not fucking done yet, bro.
Oh, shit.
Bro, I wasn't done yet, bro. Why didn't y'all warn me? Hey, go downstairs and pretend like you didn't see this. This was supposed to be really funny and cool, but then it wasn't because you didn't fucking warn me. Well, I got your computer.
Oh, thank you.
This is because those two are into PC gaming. Mm-hmm. You're not. You're going to be now. So that's going to be something you do now.
I mean, I'm still gonna get the PS5.
I was going to set it up and have it all light up and pretty, but that's not happening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't got anything else to do except finish setting it up, and then you can see it at the end.
You wanted to put it in your room, huh?
I was going to put it in your room. I was like, whoa.
It's not.
Bro, I was like, what the hell? I walked in there, I was like, I am not putting anything in here. I'll put it on your bed, bro. It's because you're a big ass bed. Who has a queen size bed for themselves, man?
I regret nothing.
No, you
Turn it on.
plug in the laptop.
Wait, hold on. Turn the monitor on first before we take it out. Ready? Do it, Brandon.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
It's looking good. Clean.
Play Bounty Quest now?
How about that one?
I don't think I have a choice now.
Now saying keyboard.
Hey!
Hey!
Let's go! Hey! Bro, he's on the keyboard, bro. He's on the keyboard, bro. Console player on the keyboard.
Fuck.
I'm such a dumbass.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thoughts?
I mean, it was dope. I'm still kind of in shock.
Dude.
Because this had me shook as fuck.
Dude, we got you, man. We're gonna play together now.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna game it up. You're gonna stop playing console. Well, you still play console, but you're gonna be a PC gamer now. So now you can't stop. You can stop shitting on PC gamers.
I guess I have to.
Yes.
I guess I have to. Because now I am one.
Bro.
Honestly.